everybody, you're back with Joey Ciccone Connected, World Center of Broadcast Media. We're here live in Las Vegas. On the phone, which I would love him to be here in person. Maybe when we do part 3, he sits next to me. The real Dominick Montiglio, all right?
Yes.
With the DeMeo crew. The man was in Vietnam, learned a lot of different skills. Hey, Dom, I just wanted to ask you, it just came to me, and we got a lot of people chiming in right now. When you came back, just to finish Nam and everything, when you came back, you had to deal with a lot of protesters, right? I mean, that must have been something, because we all know the stories. So how did you feel? How did you feel, about the protesters? And let me ask you something. Were they afraid of you?
If you were wearing your uniform, they were. But if you weren't wearing your uniform, they considered you part of them.
Right.
Who I hated. I really did. Because, they just didn't have it. They didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. Okay?
Okay.
None of them, or a very minuscule amount of them, were ever in Vietnam, because we had the Vietnam vets against the war, and one of them was John Kerry. He led the Vietnam vets against the war, so
right.
That says a lot to his character. And I had my problems with them,
Well, of course, but just to tie that in, and if you look back here, friends, I know you're watching in live right now. So it's a place called Gravesend. It's in Brooklyn. You mentioned it, in the streets of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of touch on it. People always ask me. They're asking me now and stuff. Where's Gravesend? What is it?
It's a neighborhood. It's a neighborhood close to the Fountain Avenue dump.
Right.
That's where most of the bodies that were taken apart, they were put into plastic bags, then into boxes. And one of the DeMeo crew's cousins owned a carting company, and we would call them, and boxes in the dumpster, and they would be there within 10, 15 minutes picking up the dumpster and putting it in a truck and then bringing it over to the Fountain Avenue dump and dumping it.
So Fountain Avenue, was born in Brooklyn, but Fountain, just for the fans and friends, Fountain Avenue was close to Gravesend, or it was right there, right next to it.
Well, Gravesend
Sanctuary
was near the dump, but it was also close to Canarsie, where the DeMeo crew operated out of.
Right. Right.
And it, today it's all landfill. The Fountain Avenue dump. As a matter of fact, it's landfill, but there's all kinds of houses built there now. And I just wonder, these people that are living in these houses, if they know what's underneath them.
That soil is very rich, let me tell you.
There's got to be over 200 bodies under there.
Yeah, that fertilizer is very rich. Yes. So let's move on here. Let's move on, Lawrence. I'll address it right now, okay? And look, this guy has been through a lot. I'm talking about Dominick. So when he was talking about, I'll just tell it the way it is. When you were going to whack someone, it wasn't going to be in front of the wife or kids, okay? And by the way, I just want to clarify, if you're just tuning in right now, this is real. This ain't a movie. This is real. We're talking to Dominick Montiglio, okay? So Dominick, just going back to that, the respect was always there when you were going to do a job. It wasn't going to be in front of children or the wife, correct?
No, you couldn't do that.
It's against the rules.
That was against the rules. And what else was against the rules? Like, my best friend, my partner, if he went to my house and knocked on the door, and he was like a brother and sister to my wife, and I wasn't home, he wasn't allowed in the house. Okay? You couldn't go in the house unless the husband was home.
Right. I mean, why? Right. It totally makes sense.
Yeah. They had so many rules. It was like the Constitution.
Of course.
Just went on and on.
Right. I got Vinny.
And you
go
had
ahead.
to memorize everything. You had to know what was right, what was wrong. Like wise guys. I couldn't go up and introduce one of my friends to a wise guy unless I was a wise guy.
Well,
and then what I would say is, if this was a wise guy that I was introducing him to, I would say, this is a friend of ours.
Exactly.
And if he wasn't, I would say, this is a friend of mine.
Beautiful. Thanks for clarifying that. And the fans, they're really hitting it right now. I got to lay these on you, man, because this is what it's all about, you guys being out there. Vin, you're asking a question, when and who was his last murder? I think Dominick's going to just plead the fifth on that. I don't even want to get into that. Jill, were these DeMayo's, Dominick, she's asking, were these DeMayo's rules or mob rules in general? They want to know the stuff.
No, the DeMayo crew had no respect at all for the rules. None.
Okay. There were no rules.
Whatsoever.
Jill, no rules.
I mean, they even killed a 19-year-old girl that just happened to be with the guy they were going to kill. They killed him inside the, what I call the horror hotel, behind the Gemini Lounge, and just she was sitting in the car. They went out there and shot her in the head too.
Yeah. Well, you just touched on it. There's just, Dominick, there's so much information that I think we're going to have to do a part 3. But my point is this, that I just wanted to touch on. The Gemini Lounge was what? Was that your social club, or was it just a lounge over there? We're showing it right now on the screen.
It was a neighborhood bar, really.
They're the best.
Unless we were in there.
And then it wasn't a neighborhood bar.
And the place was pretty much emptied out.
Right.
But,
right.
Because nobody wanted to say the wrong thing and get shot.
Exactly.
That's all you had to do was say the wrong thing, and you were going to get popped.
Exactly.
That's how they were. You see, and it's not really part of the mafia rule. They killed Richie Denome on a Sunday having breakfast in his apartment, and he had invited 2 of his friends who weren't involved at all down to share breakfast. They killed him, and then they killed them. And they had absolutely nothing to do with nothing, except they were just eating breakfast.
Well, yeah, and they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, obviously, too. Or maybe he ordered the wrong thing. I don't know. Listen, Dom, I got a minute left in this segment. I just want to talk to the fans a minute. With all due respect to you, Murder Machine, his book, the documentary. I mean, he's got a lot of things going on. We'll go through where you can contact Dominick again. But I just want to tell my fans out there, Jill, Vinny, I'm talking to you, Dominick. All right. I want to do a shout out to Mr. Bob Perry. He came through for all yous. Okay, it's right here.
Okay.
All right. Nah, Dominick, this is Bob Perry, a wonderful man that was on here last week, and I need to. He signed some books for my fans. And Jill, here it is. This is yours. I got Vinny's and I got Dominick's. So I got to get in touch with you, with you guys. You got to get in touch with me. So www.joeyciccone.com. That's where you go. You lay your information. I'll make sure you get the book. I'm with Dominick Montiglio. We're coming back with the final segment. Stay tuned for some great, interesting information.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you're going to have to send me the books so I could sign them, and then I'll send them back to you.
Nah, this is someone else's book. But we'll be right back, and we'll talk about that.